So here's an interesting, fun soloing exercise that's going to train your scale knowledge, your fingering knowledge. Now this is for the slightly more advanced players, so this requires they know all the 7 fingerings, in position fingerings of a C major scale, of a major scale really well. So you're going to be soloing over C, 2 bars of C, 2 bars of G minor. The G minor chord is what you call a modal interchange chord. Now all the stuff is explained in a blog that this video is recorded for, and that blog is going to be published in the next couple of months on my website zotzinguitarlessons.com. So 2 bars of C, 2 bars of G minor. Over the G minor chord you use Dorian, because that is a scale you always use over minor chords that don't belong to the key you're in. We're in the key of C, there's no G minor chords in the C scale. As such, over that G minor chord we play Dorian for reasons explained in the blog also. So here's the drill. You stay in one spot with your hand. Let's say that we start from the C note. So over the C major chord you'll play the C Ionian fingering. And then, so G Dorian, what are the notes in a G Dorian scale? G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. Oh, all the same notes like an F major scale. 1 flat, 6 white keys. So staying in one spot with our hand, we're on a C note, we need to ask ourselves which C fingering has 1 flat. That is C mixolydian. And again, you're going to get faster at this stuff. There's exercises explained in the blog of how to practice this. So we're staying on the C note, so over the C chord we'll play C Ionian fingering, and over the G minor chord we need to play G Dorian scale, which Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian. We need to play the Mixolydian fingering. And it sounds like that. So you're staying in one spot with your hand, combining 2 different scales over the 2 different chords, staying in one position. So here's a backing track playing. There it is. So C major. And so on. So I basically played over the C chord for 2 bars of C chord. I played C Ionian fingering, and then I played the C Mixolydian fingering, knowing that that C Mixolydian fingering over the chord in the backing track, which was a G minor chord, is actually a G Dorian scale. And my thought process, I don't think, and that's something you should get used to also, that you want to train your mind to, I'm not thinking, oh, it's an F major scale. It isn't, it's a G Dorian scale. It cannot sound like an F major scale because there's no F chord happening, it's a G minor chord happening. The chord progression is C, going to G minor, so it's not going to sound like an F scale. It is some kind of G minor scale, in this case G Dorian, because that's the scale again that you always use over minor chords that don't belong to the scale you're in. Meaning the scale I'm in, meaning I'm in the key of C, in a C major scale. It's a G major chord. We're playing a G minor chord. It's a modal interchange chord over that G minor chord, because there's no G minor chords in the key of C, which is the key we're in. You use Dorian, G Dorian. And again, so I really think of this as a G Dorian scale. I don't think of this as, oh, it's an F major scale, because it isn't. It's a G minor chord, hence it's a G Dorian scale. There's no F chord happening. But I'm on the 8th fret, so I want to stay there with my hand. I want to have the freedom not to have to jump all over the place to safety zones. I get that freedom by going through the thought process. Okay, G Dorian scale from here. So which finger do I have to play on that 8th fret here, because that's where my hand was when I played the C major scale. Which finger do I have to play here to play G Dorian scale? And there's X number of ways you can figure this out. You can think key signatures. Okay, Dorian is 2 notes need to go down a whole step. Need to go down, I mean, say in the key signature. So a half step actually. So G major scale has 1 sharp. For Dorian, I lose the sharp and I add 1 flat, hence 2 notes went down a half step. Oh, 1 flat in the key of G Dorian. This stuff is explained in the blog, by the way. I'm now going over this stuff quickly in the video here, not to make the video 15 minutes long. Or you could also do this. This is another system. Okay, this Dorian scale, this is a G right there. This Dorian scale, upper whole step is where Phrygian fingering falls. From Phrygian finger upper half step, this is Lydian. Upper whole step from Lydian is Mixolydian. I need to play the Mixolydian fingering there. Again, if I'm going quickly over this, the blog will explain it all in greater detail. Or you might just not be ready for this video yet. Maybe this is a little too advanced for you. Okay, cool. So let's say that we move on to the next note in the scale D. So we just played the two different scales, the C major scale and the G Dorian scale from a C note. Let's move on to D. So which fingers will I play here? Well, we need the C major scale. I'm on a D note. D is note number 2 in the C major scale. That's this fingering. I'm playing a Dorian fingering on D. Why Dorian fingering? I'm on note number 2. That's always Dorian fingering. Or in other words, I'm playing all the white keys of the piano start from a D note. Is another way of looking at this. So I'm playing a C major scale from D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. That's a D Dorian fingering, which over C major scale sounds like a C scale. And then over the G minor chords, so I need a G Dorian scale from a D note, so I need a D fingering, D, E, F, G, A, B flat that has one flat, right? Because G Dorian scale has one flat. Oh, that's a D Aeolian fingering. So we're gonna go from D Dorian to D Aeolian fingering wise. So let's get the backing track back on. G minor chord. So I'm playing D Aeol, now D Dorian again. This is D Aeolian again. And Dorian again. And so on. So let's do one more fingering so you get the idea. So your fingerings just move up. So I played over the C chord now, I played D Dorian, so that means that if I move on, I'll play E Phrygian, and over the G minor chord, I play D Aeolian. So if I move up to E, I would have to play after Aeolian, you have Locrian, E Locrian, which, so E, what I say again, E Phrygian go to E Locrian. C major scale using the E Phrygian fingering. This is a G Dorian fingering using the E Locrian fingering. Back to the C chord, E Phrygian fingering, the G minor chord, G Dorian, that's the E Locrian fingering. It's hard to talk and play at the same time. And then we just move on. So after this, you'll practice now from an F note. So we play from E note now from F note. The finger will be F Lydian fingering over the C chord. And F Ionian fingering over the G Dorian scale, over the G minor chord. Then after practicing this, you move on to G. You want to play G Mixolydian. This gives you all the notes of the C major scale. There you go. I will play G, of course, Dorian. You're on the G note. You need to play G Dorian scale, G Dorian fingering. Let me jump down an octave. So from G, your next note is A. You'll play A Aeolian. In order to play notes of the C major scale over the C chord. And you'll play A Phrygian. Because we play G Dorian. Dorian is followed by Phrygian. A Phrygian. B flat, so there's no B flats in the C scale, so you'll play B Locrian over the C chord. I will play B flat because there's no B's in the G Dorian scale. You'll play B flat Lydian over the G Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, start from B flat note. And then upper fret, you're back on C, and that concludes all 7 fingering pairs, all 7 fingering pattern groupings they will use over this chord progression. This is challenging, have fun with this stuff. It's a great way to really like get to the point where you really master your fingerings, the in position fingerings, and it's fun and it sounds good. It's challenging, but it's a fun drill. Jazz guys are really good at this stuff. They spend a significant amount of time practicing this, and you will get really good at it also when you do these drills every day. You could, for example, solo 3 minutes per fingering pair. I'm calling fingering pairs because you have 2 different fingerings you're combining over the 2 chords, right? 3 minutes per fingering pair, and like that's altogether like a 21-minute daily drill. There's only 7 pairs of fingerings, as you just could follow here in my whole explanation. So 21 minutes of daily practice on this stuff. Within 2 weeks the most, you're gonna see a huge significant progress in your soloing abilities, where this gonna get fairly easy in like 1 to 2 weeks maximum.